Welcome back to my channel. I know there are hundreds of kayaking fishing channels that you could be watching instead of mine, but I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to have an overview of the modifications that I've done to my Crescent Light Tackle Kayak. Crescent Light Tackle Kayak to me is the best kayak, $1,000 or less. That's about what it costs, $1,000. It is made in America. It is super stable, super comfortable. This particular one is 12 foot 4 inches in length, 34 inches wide, and weighs 75 pounds. I'm going to show you all the modifications that I made to make this Crescent Light Tackle a comfortable, efficient fishing machine. Many of the mods that I'll show you are not entirely my idea. There's a lot of great information on YouTube, and I've taken a lot of other people's ideas and tweaked them a bit to fit my style of fishing. I do have a few unique ideas that I came up with that I think are really great ideas and very useful, and can be used on other kayaks besides this Crescent Light Tackle. One of the things you'll notice on these mods is I did not drill a single hole to do any of these modifications. I use either the existing rails or existing holes to create all these wonderful modifications. I want to have everything I need within reach, but still out of the way. I'm going to start at the front of the kayak, and I'm going to work my way back so you can see all the mods that I've done. At the very front, every kayak needs a rope where you can tow it. You can drag it through the water or pull it off your trailer. I have a trailer, and it doubles as a lift assist. I just put a loop the distance that I need it to be, so I can easily reach it and lift myself up off the seat. I am not a young spring chicken anymore, so this really helps a bunch. One of my favorite original mods is this front rod holder. It's just made out of PVC with some foam, and it's in conjunction with this bar that I built. It is made out of 1/8 inch aluminum, and it is attached right to the tracks that are originally on the boat. And I had put foam on the top to keep things quiet, and then I put these two little rod holders that serve as a dual purpose. One of the uses for these PVC pipes is to hold the rod when you catch a fish and you're taking them off the hook, or you're just changing lures. It gets it out of your way. You don't have to lay it across your lap or across your legs, which makes it vulnerable to be knocked into the water. Snook number two. Snook number two. The other thing this rail is for in these PVC pipes is this system is made so I can lay a few rods right down here in front of myself while I'm fishing, and they're out of the way. This PVC pipe keeps them from being able to slide off into the water, so it acts like a little rail. The rail is high enough where I can slide my feet underneath here and not worry about my rods tangling with my feet or knocking them off into the water. Having your rods there makes it so much easier to change rods. You can pick up one, you can fish with one. If you want to change lures, you just gotta lay it down softly and grab another one and just go fishing. I do have rod holders in the back, but that's mostly for travel and to keep the rods that I'm not using out of my way. To reach back to switch rods to me is a little bit of a pain in the tuchus. Another thing I do a little different than most people is I do not use a kayak paddle. I use a canoe paddle. It's a little longer than a normal canoe paddle, but it's not quite a stand-up paddle board. And I find it a lot easier to grab it and control the boat versus having a kayak paddle draped across your lap. And when I'm not using it, just slide the end of it underneath the bungees up front, and then I have a little clip right here, clips it down in place so it's easily to reach. Got my tape measure on it so I can measure my fish, and again, it's out of the way and works for me. Another little easy simple thing that I do is I take a couple of short pieces of rope, and I put a loop or two in them, and I attach it to the cleat here on the side. And I use this little grabber when I'm near the mangroves or near some lily pads. I'll just clip this to the structure, and it keeps me from drifting around. This same rope with the holes in it, I can stick my stakeout stick through the holes and hold myself in place in shallow water instead of putting out an anchor. So it's a double purpose. On the other side, I'll show you how I use my stakeout pole. Crescent Light Tackle comes with this unique feature. It has these little side pockets with zippers, and behind the pockets they have a little opening. You can stick little things inside. I have some leader on this side, easily accessible. Fits your phone. This side I just have a pair of pliers. I keep this little wrench. Ooh, thunder boomers. Welcome to Florida. I keep this little wrench because some of my mods, I use a wrench to tighten them down on the rail. So if they loosen up while I'm out on the water, I have the right tools. For a stakeout pole, I just have this homemade metal from a net, and I have this little point, a bamboo, stick it in the mud. And for storage, I just slide it right in here, and it just sits right out of the way. Again, it's very accessible, out of the way. It's not going to fall in the water. The last kayak I had a track, a Yak Attack anchor trolley, and I liked it, but it really, I don't know, I didn't feel like putting one on this kayak. I attached about an 8-foot piece of paracord, and I tied it to the back cleat, and then I attached the front end to this side cleat, and then I put some loops in the paracord at different positions, so depending on where you put the stakeout pole through the loop changes the angle of your anchoring. So if you put it close to the side, you'll be sideways. The further back you put it, then the front of the boat will swing with the wind at your back. Attached to the middle bar is a piece of PVC pipe that fits inside my scupper hole, and I use that to mount a camera for the front. The front camera system is just some PVC pipe. I have it like an L. It slides into this PVC pipe. The front camera rotates so you can get different angles, and you can bring it close to turn it on or off. And again, it's out of the way, but it's within reach. It's great for the close-ups of the fish and the front action. The next modification I did was to the seat. I attached some blocks to rise the seat up a couple inches, make it easier to paddle and easier to cast, just more comfortable. And on top of that, when I am out, I add 2 more boat cushions. Having these extra boat cushions lets me sit up higher, which is a lot more comfortable than sitting low. And it's easier to pull yourself up when you're standing up, which I do a lot on this boat, because I have this pontoon system that allows me to sit up higher, and it's not going to affect the stability of this boat. Another small modification I have is I put a small piece of PVC pipe and attach it to the seat. Again, it's behind me, so it's not in my way, but I can reach back and I can grab this de-hooker. If you've never used these de-hookers, it's great for taking the hook out of a fish, especially if you get a gar or a pike or a mackerel or something with a lot of teeth. You can get the hook out easily without tearing yourself up. And I have a little float on here in case it falls into the water. The Crescent Light Tackle has two sections on the side of the seats that fits a small tackle box. It had a bungee cord to hold it in place, but it didn't seem to work out too good for me. What I did is I glued on these angle brackets made out of aluminum, so when you put the box in, it doesn't slide under the seat. You have one on each side, so again, very convenient. I found this nice little cooler at Walmart. You can put an ice bottle and a couple drinks with another drink on the side, so I get 4 drinks out of it, plus a little pouch for snacks, and it slides right here underneath the bar, and it's out of the way of my foot. Again, it's easily in reach, but out of my way. Now I want to go over my anchoring system. I got this idea online from another fellow. It is a 3-inch PVC pipe, and you put a cap on the other end with some holes on it, so you can just slide your anchor in and out very easily. It's out of the way again, but easily reachable. I'll show you a couple things I do with this anchor system that might be a little different than other people's. I attached the front of the tube to the boat with some cleats and bungee cord. On the bottom of this tube, I screwed on a piece of metal with a hole, and I attached it to the existing track. That way it's very stable, not going anywhere. Before I get into the entire system here, I do suggest that people learn how to attach your anchor so it can be retrieved if it gets stuck on the bottom, on the rock or something. There are plenty of YouTube videos that explain how this works, so you guys can check that one out. To use this anchor, all you have to do is pull it out. It's just a little 3.5 pound, I believe, canoe anchor. And I have the rope, half of it tied up, so I don't need it all. It's about 30 feet long. But all you have to do is take this little clip here, stainless, clip it on to whichever loop you want to use, and then run the rope for the anchor through that, and then drop the anchor in the water. And as it's going down, once you get it to the location you want, you can tie it to a cleat, tie it to your handle, and that's it. If you happen to catch a big fish and you need to get rid of it, you can just unclip it here, and then unclip it on this end and throw everything in the water, because I have a little float, and you can fight the fish, and then you can come back and get your anchor. And for storage, super simple. Just clip it back on here, stick your buoy in, stick your extra rope, just unclip your rope from your cleat, and just round up your rope, stick it in, push it in, boom, it's done. When you're traveling, it's not going to go anywhere. When you're fishing, it's out of the way. And if you're just using the anchor more often and you're not ready to put it away, when you pick up the anchor and you want to move to another spot, Just lay it behind the seat right there, and it is out of the way and easily reachable. You've heard that a bunch of times, haven't you? Oh, that's the one I've been waiting. The next modification is a combination of a rod holder and a trolling motor mount. We'll start with the trolling motor mount. The Crescent Light Tackle comes with two mini tracks instead of rod holders, and I just put a 2.5 inch bolt into that spot, locked it down on both ends, and then I used a piece of aluminum bar which I bent to shape, and then I attached it to the track. That way there's no torque when your trolling motor is turned on and off. A trolling motor can put a lot of torque, so if you're only using a single mounting point, it could flex this plastic very easily. So if you have 4 different points, it really stabilizes a trolling motor. I have a Minn Kota 40-pound thrust trolling motor, and I have the mount here on my right side. That way when I'm fishing, I can stand up and I can adjust the trolling motor to help me fish. The rod tubes were just attached with a couple of holes drilled into the wood for the trolling motor mount, and it's just a couple of T's and elbows. I believe it's 1.25 inches is the size. I have 4 rod holders back here, and I put them at a slight angle because if they're angled back, they're not going to get in the way while you cast, yet they're still easily reachable. So normally I take 5 rods when I go fishing. I'll put 4 back here and 1 up front, or a couple up front, and leave the ones I'm not using in the back. When I'm standing, I can easily reach these. When I'm sitting, I can easily reach these. Alright. And like every kayak you see around, I put a little milk crate back here. It just holds extra tackle, my rain jacket in there, and it doesn't need to be dry storage. I have plenty of that up front. The other thing the milk crate is for is my trolling motor battery. When I put my trolling motor on the kayak, I will have the battery in the milk crate. The next modification I came up with is a boom for my rear GoPro mount. Tried a couple of different systems, but they all seem to be a little wobbly. So I went with this one right here. I have like a 2.5 foot, 3/4 inch PVC pipe. I attached this boom with a threaded PVC cap, and I put a bolt through it, and then I used the track to attach it. But it was still a little wobbly. So then I attached this metal, it's an aluminum bar. I attached it to the milk crate, and it keeps it from wobbling quite a bit. I'll go over the entire GoPro mount in a future video, but I'll show you what it looks like right now. The original boom is 3/4 inch PVC. Then I have 1/2 inch PVC with some elbows that slide into the 3/4 inch. I'll put a little bit of tape on the inside so I can spin it around quietly without any squeaking or any other noises. And the GoPro mounts on the top here, and that's about it. Like I said, I'll go over the full GoPro mod in a future video. Now to my favorite modification, my pontoon system. This system is not originally my idea. I found this idea on YouTube through some other channels, but the way I attach it to the kayak is my own thought. Again, I don't want to drill any holes, so I use this 1 1/4 inch pipe. It's PVC, the heavier gray, and the inside is 1 inch PVC. It slides in like a glove. These pins right here, just use these stainless pins to slide them out and slide them in. To attach the pontoons to the boat, I used the original tracks with this this little pipe holder, I guess you'd call it. It's like an electrical pipe holder, and I used the screw to the rail system itself, and then I used 1 1/4 inch heavy-duty PVC, the kind you use for electrical, the gray one, and put these pins in so I can remove it when transporting, or if I go out and I'm not fishing, I want to go through the mangrove tunnels, I can just take them off. Here are the pontoons. To take the pontoons off, when you're done, just remove 1 pin. Always keep the pin back in the original hole so you don't forget them when you go out fishing one day. And that's it. They're off. You can store them where you want. I actually stick them in the rod holders and bungee them down when I'm traveling. But there we go. There we go. Stay on, baby. There we go. All right, here is what the kayak looks like with the trolling motor on it. I'm not putting a battery in it because I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out how to do that. It is a 40-pound thrust Minn Kota, and I like it on the side instead of the back because I can have control of steering while I'm standing or even when I'm sitting. One important thing to consider when you put a kayak trolling motor on this system is make sure the trolling motor is far enough behind the pontoons so you don't hit them while you're turning or turn it on. And once you lower the trolling motor into the water, you're not going to hit your kayak or your pontoons if you make sure you have these back far enough. I learned. One other thing to consider when you put any pontoon system on is how far into the water are your pontoons touching. You want the pontoons to just be skimming the water, so when you're paddling there's no drag, and when you're standing, as it leans and rocks, it'll still be buoyant enough to keep you stable. If they're too deep in the water, they're going to be dragging, and it's going to make it hard to paddle. So that's it. All the final mods for my Crescent Light Tackle Kayak. Turns this stable kayak into a efficient, comfortable fishing machine. Now you can see all the modifications. I got rods everywhere within reach. I got cooler, I got the paddles, I got the stakeout pole, I got leaders, I got tackle boxes, I got pliers, I got the hooker, a trolling motor, 4 rods in the ready. But yeah, look at the cockpit. Empty. When I'm fishing, whether I'm standing or sitting, there is nothing in the way to kick or trip over. So I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration of some of the modifications I have on this kayak. You can comment or message me, and I'll try to explain in more detail what I really did for this kayak. I will be putting more detailed, updated videos of the pontoon system, the trolling motor system, the rod holders, and all the other little mods that I came up with help from you guys on YouTube that have posted videos in the past. Thanks a bunch, and maybe some of my ideas will help you tweak yours. Anyways, Crescent Light Tackle, love it. Very comfortable. I don't see myself getting something else in a long time. The other thing I do have in here in this front hatch, which is gigantic, I do have a dolly that I made that is comes apart, fits right in here. I use a trailer so I can put my kayak in most places, but sometimes you gotta walk it down to the water, so it's always there. I'll never forget it. Thanks a bunch. Subscribe, like, comment. Whew. Gonna go fishing now.